This is part 3 of our little mini-series on economic systems, socioeconomic, socio-political systems. And in this portion of the series, we're going to look at something a little bit off topic, it seems at least in the beginning. What we're going to consider here is what is deemed to be national security. National security concerns are determined by various entities within a government, various government agencies, various government agents, often involving multiple branches and agencies. Given my familiarity with the United States, I'm going to focus there. And in the United States, several key players are involved in identifying and addressing national security concerns. First and foremost, you have the president. As the commander-in-chief and head of the executive branch, the president plays a very crucial role in identifying and responding to national security threats. The president has access to intelligence reports and works closely with national security advisors and others to make informed decisions. It needs to be noted here that not all of the security advisors, not all of the presidential advisors will be elected officials, but rather may be appointed. They may be friends, they may be family, they may be, to at least some degree, they may even be partners in crime. It is not a set or close selection process. It is strictly arbitrary in nature and at the whim of the president. They serve at the behest of the president, at his convenience. So when he appoints somebody, they become an advisor, and they have a say in this. There's also the National Security Council, which is chaired by the president and is a principal forum for considering national security and foreign policy matters, primarily with senior national security advisors and cabinet officials. The National Security Council coordinates policies and actions across various government agencies. There's also the intelligence community, which is a very broad and far-reaching and expansive community within the federal government. Agencies such as the CIA, the NSA, the FBI, and a host of others, some of which we probably never even heard about, all work together to gather and analyze and report intelligence on potential threats. This is all headed up by the Director of National Intelligence, and they advise the President and the National Security Council. There's also the Department of Defense, which is led by the Secretary of Defense, and it is responsible for military operations and defense policy. It also plays a significant role in identifying and countering military threats to national security. Military may or may not be hard force. It may or may not be military in traditional civilian view of the word. Then we have the Department of Homeland Security, which focuses on, ostensibly at least, protecting the United States from domestic threats, including terrorism, natural disasters, and cybersecurity threats. Agencies within the DHS, such as the Federal Emergency Management Agency, and the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency both contribute to national security efforts. There's also the Congress. Through its legislative and oversight functions, Congress influences national security policy. Committees such as the Senate Armed Services Committee and the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence both play key roles in reviewing and shaping national security strategies and budgets. And saving the best for last. National security advisors and experts. Keyword there, and experts. Advisors to the President and other senior officials, including the National Security Advisor, provide analysis and recommendations on national security issues. These experts often come from backgrounds in intelligence, military diplomacy, and academia. They do not always have the best interest of the nations at heart. They are not elected officials. They are not publicly accountable in every case. They are in some cases, but not in every case. And they may be appointed by senior officials within the government. The process for determining national security concerns generally involves a collaboration and input from these various entities, not necessarily all of them. Again, based on the recommendations of a single expert, and we've all seen how well the experts do, right? I mean, hey, YouTube will tell you the experts never get it wrong. So, it's just, hey, God bless the experts, because I certainly won't. Anyhow, never mind. Ensuring that wide range of perspectives and different types of expertise are considered, these experts all contribute to determining whether or not something is a national security threat. But the question then becomes, what does any of that have to do with economics? Never mind the socioeconomic and sociopolitical systems that we currently live in, or finances, or systemically sustainable human growth and development. Is there an actual correlation? Let's go back and take a little trip through time, and we're going to end up this trip in 1951, 1952. During that time, there was a law that was quietly passed called the 1951 Invention Secrecy Act. In that act, it was determined that any invention that presented a risk to national security, as often determined by the experts, including corporate lobbyists, personal friends positioned as advisors to those in power, or virtually any other elected or unelected expert, could, even without a practical reason, declare virtually any invention as a threat to national security and have it quashed, buried, never again to see the light of day or to benefit society. Taking that to the next level, if you want to know the cause for any war in history, what is the old adage? Follow the money. If you want to know why revolutionary and disruptive technologies are being buried, follow the money. You want to know why those cancer cures never show up despite billions of dollars being spent on research? Follow the money. Want to know why clean energy is not yet readily available? Follow the money. The current socio-political and socio-economic and financial systems are perhaps the biggest obstacle to systemically sustainable human growth and development. So, just change the economic system and everything should be better, right? Wrong. Both proverbial and literal powers that be are heavily vested in the current socioeconomic and sociopolitical and financial systems. Any effort to unravel that system will inevitably lead to the disappearance, if not of the economic system itself, of those proponents who are pushing hard enough to make it appear viable as a national security threat by risking the destabilization of the current global economic and financial systems. Such collapses have historically always led to war, and war is something that we should all be fighting to avoid, pun intended. Thus, it seems far more prudent to build what is effectively a parallel system, an economic and financial system that works for the benefit of the individual, the family unit, the local community, and which will ultimately benefit the state within the current systems in place. If and when the current system does collapse, it is a very real possibility that war and chaos will follow. There's no reason to believe that the lessons of history will magically change simply because humanity is more woke, awake, or even aware. By building a system that works in complete conjunction with the existing systems in place and with the duly elected governments, it becomes possible to build that system without it being shut down, be it under the guise of national security or any other unrealistic threat that may be perceived from the actions and the functions of the local community. It would likely even be fair to assume that to some degree at least, these miniaturized systems, these miniaturized conjunctive socio-political, socio-economic, and financial systems that have proven to be effective at supporting the lawful and rightful governments, have been effective at supporting the state in the past, would be capable of surviving even the most devastating of economic collapses as well, including societal collapse, such as may occur from a coronal mass ejection or other global, natural, or man-made catastrophe, and would be well worth defending in the chaos that ensued. Our goal is not now and never has been political in nature. It has never been purely economical pursuit either. What our goal is now, and what it has always been in effect, and what it should remain focused on, is to build a system that can function in virtually any environment and which serves first to the benefit of the individual, to the benefit of the family, to the benefit of the local community, but not at the expense of the state, rather in cooperation with the state. So again, if you have any questions or concerns, or if you have any comments, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to find out what your thoughts are, and let us know in the comments below. We look forward to hearing from you, and we'll see you soon. Please like, share, and subscribe, and you'll hear that again in a moment, but I had to throw it in. So thank you. Bye. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment below.